We'll try one more time. Thank you.
It's one of those Bill Rogers things in the chamber.
Definitely. I just want to take a minute and welcome everyone tonight. We have an exciting night to celebrate an awful lot of amazing people, and I am thrilled that you're all here to be a part of this. It is the May 2022 meeting, and I'm calling it to order. Anthony, do you mind coming up and saying the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Good. You came on a busy night with a lot of people, so we're excited that you're here. If you'll just take a few minutes and tell us about yourself and your experience in Springdale.
Alrighty, my name's Anthony Nava. I've lived here in Springdale all my life. I have attended Turnbow Elementary, Sonora Middle School, and Don Tyson School of Innovation. I am currently a graduating senior, and at my school I have attended our industrial maintenance program, which is a 2-year program about showing kids the industry and what a different road is from than college. And currently I have 2 jobs lined up, one going with Tyson and the other one with Multicraft. Yes.
So can you describe what your job will be with?
At Tyson, I would be a part of their ammonia program, ammonia refrigeration, and at Multicraft, I will also be a part of their HVAC portion, which is your heating, ventilation, air conditioning, all that stuff.
Tell me a little bit about why your favorite class has been industrial maintenance. What got you excited about it?
What got me excited about it, again, as I stated, it was a different pathway that a student could take. One being, college, the other being the industrial field, anything like that. Why it's also my favorite class is because of the instructor. My instructor, Mr. Higginson, he has been the best for these last 2 years. He's been amazing, teaches phenomenally, and just overall, it's a good school and good program to be a part of.
That's awesome. Board, do you have any questions for Anthony?
I got one. So,
Yes, sir.
were you able to get some certifications that allowed you to be able to get these job offers? Is that what helped?
Yes, sir. Currently, I have around 30 certifications, 30 or more.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And it's all through NCC ER, which is, I guess, a course you can take, which has 4 different levels, not including any HVAC books and welding as well. And also, a part of that, we also got our OSHA 10, OSHA 30, and currently working on a EPA 608 certification, which deals with refrigerants.
When do you have to decide
That's what I was
which
thinking.
job to take?
I would decide when I turn 18, actually. I am currently still 17, and I would need to be 18 to join my field of my choice.
That's
I love your career goal.
Thank you.
You might share it so somebody who didn't get to read this knows what your goal is.
My career goal is,
Well, on here you wrote what you want to be making in 5 years.
yes.
And that's
In 5 years, I want to be at least making, I think I stated 100,000 or more. But
Hey, it's possible. With all
it's
that.
possible. It might be sooner than you think, actually.
That's awesome.
I think that's a goal that would make any parent proud.
Yes.
Do you have any relatives with you tonight?
No, ma'am. It's currently just me tonight.
Well, we're excited that you're here. We can't wait to see which company you decide to go with. And we just want to celebrate you this evening. So thank you.
Good luck.
Yep.
Board, before we get started, I want to take a minute. In fact, I had need to look around the room and find them. Would Melissa Fink and Paul Miller please either stand up or come this
Standing
way?
in the back.
Okay, well, come. Audience, we need to celebrate both of these amazing individuals tonight. They have both received, Ms. Fink received the University of Arkansas Educational Leader Specialist of the Year, and Mr. Miller received the AAIM Technology Leader of the Year. We want to celebrate We are thankful that you're both here in Springdale.
We are glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both, and I know you have more later to talk to us about. So.
Congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board, you've had the agenda for a while. Dr. Cleveland, or board, are there any changes or modifications to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I have a motion by Mrs. Creek, a second by Mr. Owenby to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, board, you also have had the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Hutchinson, a second by Mr. Bell to approve the consent agenda as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do you want to take?
Yep. I'm gonna, this is something I don't ever do, but I'm gonna take a point of personal privilege. Nobody knows what's going on here except for Michelle, but I just wanted to let everybody know that being a father is awesome, but being a grandfather is even better. And I've got my second grandchild on the way. My youngest son is gonna have a baby, so I'm gonna have number 2. Anyway, I want to embarrass him a little bit, so thank you for letting me do that. Now you can have it.
You have 3 sons, right?
3 boys.
So we can expect a lot of Hutchisons in the school district.
We're hoping, yep.
That's great. Congratulations, Ms. Hutchinson. I have to say that it is so great to see a full boardroom again. It is wonderful. I've seen several of you, but now seeing you again tonight, it just makes us feel good to celebrate every child and every staff member and every mom and dad that's out there that have taken their time to come tonight. So it was really special to hear that Pledge of Allegiance to together. Anyway, first thing on our agenda this evening is recognition of the Arkansas PTA Reflections winners. Ms. Fink.
Well, good evening, board. I'm here tonight to help celebrate some very special students in our district. The state PTA every year hosts a reflections contest. Students submit entries in several categories, including dance, choreography, music, film, photography, literature, and visual arts. This year, the theme was, I Will Change the World By. We had a lot of submissions from the district to the state, and we had several winners proving that these students will change the world someday. So students, when I call your name, if you'll come up and see Ms. Tischer, she's here on my left, and we will celebrate you and recognize your accomplishments with the board. So congratulations to each of you. In the dance choreography category, Special Artist Division goes, congratulations, first place winner, Callie Huggins from Shaw Elementary School. In the music composition category, Elementary Division, first place goes to David Pruitt, Tyson Elementary. And second place to Allie Garner from Tyson Elementary. Intermediate Division, Felix Wynn from Tyson Elementary. Film production category, Intermediate Division, first place, Cash Kirby from Tyson Elementary. Second place, Evan Gasher from Tyson Elementary. And Quentin Clevenger from Tyson Elementary, third place. Photography category, intermediate division, Meredith Little, Shaw Elementary. She was a first place winner. Third place, Felix Sewell from Tyson Elementary. Literature category, primary division, second place, Jan Roberts, Shaw Elementary. Third place winner, Cohen Walker, Shaw Elementary. Intermediate division, second place winner, Amelia Jenkins, Shaw Elementary. Visual arts category, primary division, second place winner, Clara K. Emerson from Shaw Elementary. And we had some high school winners this year. First place, Elizabeth Miller from the Don Tyson School of Innovation. And I'm sorry, I said the wrong name. I meant to recognize Jax Roberts from Shaw Elementary, so I apologize to Jax. And second place, high school division, goes to Morgan Underhill from DTSOI. Thank you.
A lot of state winners of amazing talent on the way up. Okay, our second agenda item, Ms. Cook, is recognition of seal of biliteracy achievement. Ms. Tischer is at the podium.
Good evening, Board. Thank you for having us here tonight. In just a moment, I'm going to bring up the Arkansas Seal of Biliteracy team, a team of reps from our district. But I just wanted to let you know that in the state of Arkansas, students have the opportunity to pursue the Arkansas Seal of Biliteracy. And when a student achieves that designation, that means that the student is proficient in English and another language, and sometimes more than one language. Since the pilot of this program began in 2017, a total of 3,309 students from 80 high schools around the state have attained this certification across 19 languages other than English. And I'm proud to say that Springdale Public Schools leads the state in the number of students who have attained the Seal of Biliteracy or multiple seals of biliteracy. And so at this time, we'll bring the team to the podium.
Good evening. Sorry. This is, whoops, where are we? This is Miss Melissa Myers from Don Tyson School of Innovation with Andrea Portillo, her student. This is Miss Kristen Novotny from Springdale High and Guadalupe Perez Alcala from Springdale High. And I am Ellen Rainey from HAR-BER High School, and this is my student Dylan Young. HAR-BER had our spring celebration last week, and Springdale High has theirs tomorrow, and Don Tyson School of Innovation is having theirs next week. So it's just lots and lots of students being celebrated all over the place.
So Ms. Tischer did a wonderful job because she kind of said everything that we were going to talk to you guys about. But we're just really proud of all of the numbers and the accomplishments of our students. We've had a great number of students receive the Seal of Biliteracy in multiple languages, and so we're just really proud of them for all of that.
A couple things we did want to highlight. It is available for grades 9 through 12, so students have to demonstrate proficiency in between those grades. This year alone, Springdale Public Schools had 306 students certified, which is the most in the state. And Ms. Tischer did say 3,309 total students from the beginning of the program in 2017. We lead the state with 1,070 to date. Yeah. And then the last thing, as Ms. Myers said, multiple languages. We have students certified in Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Marshallese. We lead the state with Marshallese, of course, we're proud of that. And we have a student from Don Tyson who earned the seal in Tagalog, Filipino.
What was it?
Tagalog, it's the Philippine language. What are we missing? So we told our students you were going to ask them like 50 questions each. So
Okay, who wants to go first? My first question would be, what made you decide to try for the biliteracy? And what language are you?
So I have my seal in both Spanish and Chinese. I decided to get it because I lived in Texas, and my school had like a dual language program, so I started learning Spanish in kindergarten. And so I got back into it about 2 years ago after I had moved here. And so I had heard about this program because my older sister got it. And so I knew it was something I wanted to do because then I could put it on resumes and applications for college and stuff. And that way people could actually see, oh, he does like actually know Spanish. We can trust him. And then I decided to pursue mine for Chinese this year as well because languages just fascinate me. And I actually am planning on pursuing a degree in Spanish education next year at the University of Arkansas. And I just want to learn as many languages as I can. And so I took the opportunity and I ended up getting it.
That's exciting. What about you?
colegio vas a atender saliendo de la high school?
What?
¿Qué colegio?
University of Arkansas.
Little test. There's testing.
I need it. I have the AP Spanish exam tomorrow.你说中文? No.
You got me there.
So I have my seal in Spanish. So I grew up, having language as Spanish is my first language, and growing up in like elementary and middle school, it could be tough to keep, I guess, using Spanish since I'm always at school. So once I got to high school, I realized it's very, very important to keep my Spanish, and just being in so many Spanish classes with Miss Novotny and in junior high has helped me so much. And I want to keep this language going, and I'm just very excited to keep using it in the future and not forget it. Yeah.
Are you a senior as well?
Yes, I am a senior. So I plan to go into the education field. I am still deciding whether I want to be a teacher or go into child advocacy and teach Spanish. Yeah, but those.
Well, we would love to have you back.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. And I'm going to attend NWAC and then transfer to the university. Yeah.
Great job.
Don't forget about us.
I got my seal of biliteracy in Spanish, and kind of like them, they kind of said what I would say as well. I just think it opens a lot of doors. Not to mention, I'm really proud to be Hispanic and to speak Spanish. It's probably one of the things I'm most proud about. So just to have something that solidifies saying, oh, she can speak it and she does it well, I just think it's nice to have, and it just looks good on resumes and, better jobs or better opportunities.
So are you a senior as well?
Yes, I am. Well, I'm still deciding. I don't know if I want to go into nursing or into speech pathology, but one of the two.
We need both.
That too.
So does the seal mean that you can speak it, read it, and write it?
Yes, it does. Speak it, read it, and write it.
I have to hand it to you guys because firsthand, I have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, and people don't understand how fast they lose that. And because all their little buddies, they all speak English, and you still want them to keep that part and keep the culture as well going, but it's extremely hard to do. So I got to applaud you guys for that.
Great job.
We're extremely proud of all of you.
Congratulations.
I know there's probably employers in the room taking names down so they can try to hire them. Well, this is a bittersweet time of year, as always. The bittersweetness comes from recognizing some wonderful teachers and administrators who have decided to retire. Sometimes let's go do something else. Sometimes let's just go home and grandchildren or other things. Or work in churches. I know we have Ms. Voss over here who did the same. But tonight, we have 40 staff members who have elected to retire. Oftentimes, we have others after this meeting that we don't get a chance to recognize, but tonight we have 40. Of the 40, there are about 13, I think, that weren't able to come for one reason or another. But we have 2 administrators. Our first administrator is a longtime employee, and I see him back there, Mr. Coons, Mr. Kelly Coons. Would you mind to come to the front? Tell the board, this team that's here with you, that supported you for a long time, what it's like to be a teacher or be an administrator here, and what you're going to do next.
Well, first, I want to thank you for doing this because I got out of bus duty early tonight. So. We just appreciate the support we've received. We moved here 23 years ago from Indiana, looking for jobs, trying to find a new home in Arkansas, and we could not have found a better place to call home than Springdale the last 23 years. So we appreciate that very much. Taking us under your wing, giving us an opportunity to coach, to teach, and to just be a part of the Springdale community. We really have enjoyed our time. For me, 40 years is long enough. It's time to go. And the cool thing about tonight and this year is that all 3 of the Coons family members are graduating at the same time. So we're going to spend the next 3 or 4 years chasing our daughter around, watching her play volleyball at UCA and wherever else that takes her, and just enjoy some time together as a family and traveling on the road. So thank you very much.
King said it, 40 years, 23 years in our district, so that's fantastic. Another administrator I saw walk in, I don't see her right now, but Ms. Ladina Eads. There she is. Ms. Ladina is Ms. Eads, you have 20 years of service in the district, is that right, and 28 total years?
Yes, 20 in the district and 28. And like Mr. Coons, my family and I moved here. We followed my husband's job. He is the superintendent of Pea Ridge National Military Park for just a little bit longer. And we had the opportunity to move closer to my parents. And we're going to take that. So we appreciate Springdale Schools.
Okay. I'm going to call the names of the teachers who are retiring and list their years of service in the district and their total years. I would like to recognize, though, the combined total years of service represented in this room this evening is 1,141 years. That is... Mr. Owenby, is that a record? Because I know you always talk about it.
I think it is.
I think it is too. Combined years of service in our district is 757 and a half. And so that's a lot of time and energy and effort and love that's spread from our staff members to kids and in return, right, Dr. Thompson? So our first honoree tonight is Miss Kelly Allison, 8 years in Springdale, 35 years in 36. Next, Miss Irma Banta, 20 years in the 22 total years, George Elementary. Next, Miss Vicki Bashaw, 32 years in Springdale, 35 total from Southwest. George Junior High, Miss Lisa Davis, 6 in the district, 15 total years. I may need to slow down just a second.
There we go. They saved me for other people. There we go. All right. Come on, photo bomber.
Okay. You ready?
Yep, go.
Next, Miss Lori Davis, 24 years in Springdale, 29 overall from Southwest Junior High. Oh, she couldn't be? Okay, very sorry. Okay. I know we had a late scratch of Miss Vicki Delosier too. She meant to be here, but we'll mention her in just a little bit. Someone that's close to a certain board member on the docket here is Miss Rhonda Emerson, 30-year Collins For those of you that don't know, this is Nick's mother. Okay, next, let's see, a young lady from HAR-BER High School, Miss Joyce Fine, 36 and a half years total, 35. Next, with 33 total years of experience, 5 in Springdale from Young Elementary, Miss Nancy Halsey.
Halsey.
From Tyson School of Innovation with 22 years of experience as a counselor and 3 years in Springdale, Miss Jan Jackson. I didn't see Miss Jackson, so she might not have been able to make this. With 48 years, Southwest Junior High as a sped teacher, 17 years in our district, Miss Gail Kennard. Southwest Junior High, very respected young lady, wife of Mr. Coons, Coach Jody Coons, 30 years.
Let's do one more.
16 years at Springdale Schools, leaving from Central Junior High, Miss Deborah Lamb. From Jones Elementary for 32 and a half years, 28 in Springdale, Miss Nancy Ledbetter. Counselor from Southwest Junior High with 20 years total, 16 years in Springdale, Miss Lisa Lentz. With 33 years from Tyson Elementary, 29 in Springdale, Miss Diana Lyman. From HAR-BER Elementary, 23 years teaching, 17 years in Springdale, Miss Lynn Massey. From Southwest, 19 years in teaching, 17 years in Springdale, Miss Deborah Materi. Where's Coach McGinnis? 40 years, all in Springdale, right, Coach? From Springdale High School, the legend himself, Coach Dave McGinnis.
Good job, Coach.
Very respected. You gonna stay retired? From HAR-BER High School, 29 years in teaching, 25, Springdale, Miss Ellen Rainey.
Who's going to read our names now?
From Central Junior High, 17 years in teaching, 16 years in Springdale, Mr. Mark Rothmeyer. Library Media Specialist from Hunt Elementary School with 26 years, all in Springdale, Ms. Robin Sizemore. From HAR-BER High School, teacher and a coach, 36 and a half years, 16 years here in Springdale, Coach Mark Taylor. From Monitor Elementary, with 34 years, all in Springdale, Miss Susan Welch. First retiree ever from Jim Rollins Elementary School. Miss Sue Wood, 32 years total experience. She's in the record book, Doc. Yes. And finally tonight, from those of you that are present, with 41 and a half years from George Junior High, wonderful counselor, Miss Nana Woodall.
She has shushed all of us.
She can do whatever she wants. I would like to recognize those who weren't able to attend tonight, so feel free to applause or hold your applause till the end. It'll be fine. I'll go through them fairly quickly, but every person who has worked and served in Springdale deserves an opportunity to be recognized, especially at this time. So, we have Mr. Tim Ains. He's a coach. He's from Don Tyson School of Innovation and is a golf coach at HAR-BER. He retired at Christmas, and he retired as a champion with the state championship. From Parson Hills, Miss Paula Brins. From HAR-BER High School, a counselor, Miss Tammy Klein. From Smith Elementary School, Miss Sherry Combs. From SHS, Miss Andrea Edmondson. From Archer Learning Center, Mr. Stanley Ellis. From Helen Tyson Middle School, Miss Susan Gabbard. Southwest, Mary Diane Holtz. From Turnbow, Michelle Hoover. From Helen Tyson, Bobby Strauss. From Elmdale, Nancy Taylor. And wrapping it up, PE teacher at Hellstern and football coach at HAR-BER, Mr. Gary Ware. Well, let's recognize
The board just wants to thank you for your many years of service, and we just appreciate you and hope that you have a great retirement.
Congratulations.
There are plenty of seats now, your families.
Anytime we go out to eat, take 14. Come on, Eddie. You should have put X's.
You're holding the thing up.
We're coming over. We can't get any farther over.
Yeah, unbelievable. What's the flag? Flag's gotta be in the picture. I'll just stay. You want me to just go home? Move your chair down.
Congratulations, retirees. Ms. Cook, we have some more celebrations. In Arkansas, there is a state Arkansas Teacher of the Year selected every year that serves with the Arkansas State Board and takes a sabbatical. We've been very fortunate in Springdale to have had several of these, last one being Joel Lookadoo. Tonight, we're going to recognize a potential state winner from the elementary ranks.
Yes. Yes, so I'm very excited to get to stand before you tonight and celebrate these awesome individuals. As Dr. Cleveland said, every year, Arkansas names an Arkansas State Teacher of the Year, and all of our schools nominate candidates to apply for this prestigious award. And so tonight, we want to recognize our Building Teacher of the Years, as well as name our District Teacher of the Year. Teachers, when I call your name, if you'll come up and accept your award and certificate from the board member, and then we'll ask that you come and stand along this wall and wait for the announcement of District Teacher of the Year. Following the award ceremony, we will ask that our Teacher of the Years go out to the outdoor steps for a picture opportunity. All right, Michelle McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre is a third grade teacher at Bayari Elementary School. She has been involved in the PLC Cohort 5 project at her school. She believes strongly in the power of collaboration. She connects her students to the community so they can have a vision of what they want to be when they grow up. Congratulations, Ms. McIntyre. Mary Vaughn. Ms. Vaughn is the early childhood star teacher. She is skilled at helping the district's youngest learners self-regulate their emotions. She works with teachers and students to help implement conscious discipline so students can feel their school and classrooms are a safe place to learn. Congratulations, Ms. Vaughn. Sydney Muldrew. Ms. Muldrew teaches third grade at Elmdale Elementary School. She is a big believer in hands-on applicable learning for all students. She enjoys planning lessons that connect to real-world situations. She helps coach Girls on the Run at Elmdale. Congratulations. Erica Fuentes. Ms. Fuentes is the counselor at George Elementary. She supports her students and teachers by ensuring students have tools they need to regulate behaviors in the classroom. She is an integral member of their PBIS team, which impacts student academic and behavioral outcomes. Congratulations, Ms. Fuentes. Ashley Kissinger. Ms. Kissinger is currently a fourth grade teacher at HAR-BER Elementary. She is a graduate of Springdale High School. Her favorite unit to teach is the HAR-POC Post Office. Through this integrated unit, students conduct research, learn job application skills, gain interview skills, and learn how to collaborate and problem solve with one another. Congratulations. Christy Farmer. Ms. Farmer currently is the academic support interventionist for Hunt Elementary. She has worked for the Springdale School District for 20 years. She is passionate about literacy and creates a culture and environment that fosters young minds to grow. Nancy Ledbetter. Miss Nancy Ledbetter is a first grade teacher at Jones Elementary. She works hard to build a positive family culture in her classroom. She wants her students to feel like they are part of a family. Her collaborative team meeting this year has had a heavy focus on literacy, and she has seen phenomenal growth with her students. Kat Scantlin. Miss Scantlin currently teaches second grade at Linda Childers Knapp Elementary. Her favorite unit to teach is a Lego unit. Using Legos, she teaches students math, phonological awareness, and writing. She helps plan and organize family nights at her school. Chelsea Coker. Miss Coker is currently a third grade teacher at Monitor Elementary. She is an energetic teacher focused on academic achievement while she supports the social and emotional well-being of each of her students. Nicole Sumter. Ms. Sumter is a second grade teacher at Parson Hills Elementary School. She is highly involved in the PLC Cohort project. She brings science alive in her classroom by partnering with the Food Corps volunteer to deliver engaging lessons in her classroom. Lindsay Moats. Ms. Moats is a library media specialist at Jim D. Rollins Elementary School. Ms. Moats is passionate about promoting literacy in STEAM in her school. She works closely with her Encore team to align their content standards with grade level standards. Lisa Taylor. Ms. Taylor is a fifth grade teacher at Shaw Elementary School. She was a 2020 recipient of the Presidential Awards for Excellent in Mathematical and Science Teaching. Lisa is passionate about making science come alive for her students. She utilizes real-life science experiences to help students connect what they're learning in the classroom to the world they live in. Shannon Langston. Ms. Langston is a third grade teacher at Smith Elementary School. Her background in political science and Arabic led her to believe she wanted to be a linguist for the FBI. However, her passion for children led her to the education field, which I bet sometimes she probably feels like she is in the FBI. She helps students connect their learning to real-life events through exposure and reflective teaching. Congratulations. Carrie Spurlock. Ms. Spurlock is a fifth grade teacher at Sonora Elementary School. She loves to integrate subjects in social emotional learning to support each of her students at high levels. She's a leader in her building by helping create and deliver a plan to increase ACT Aspire reading scores for 3rd through 5th grade. Stephanie Long. Ms. Long is currently a 3rd grade teacher at Turnbow Elementary School. She's a current state finalist for the Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. She's the organizer for STEAM Night at her school. Last week, over 700 students and families attended the STEAM event at Turnbow. She loves to connect her students to the community to promote career awareness for them. Debbie Keene. Keene has a fan club. Ms. King currently teaches 5th grade at Tyson Elementary. She's a veteran teacher with 24 years teaching experience. She's passionate about teaching English language learners. She brings content alive by bringing props and manipulatives into her classroom to engage students at high levels. Alicia Samarin. Ms. Samarin currently serves kindergarten through 5th grade students at the Virtual Innovation Academy. She engages virtual learners through a morning podcast where she gives a morning shout out, says the Pledge of Allegiance, announces birthdays, and gives a joke of the day. She works with parents monthly to teach them how to best support learning at home through the Fledgling Family Focus Group. Reba Cloud. Ms. Cloud is a kindergarten teacher at Walker Elementary School. She values relationships with her students. Each year, she writes a letter to former kindergarten students leaving the 5th grade where she shares memories of kindergarten, reminds them of their gifts and talents, and gives them encouraging words about the transition to middle school. Lisa Teo. Ms. Teo currently teaches 3rd grade at Westwood Elementary. She is focused on building a positive classroom culture for her students. They discuss class grows and glows and issues they are having. She fosters a growth mindset by having students work together to create solutions that turn into class goals being set for students to work on. Alicia Moreland. Ms. Moreland teaches 1st grade at Young Elementary. She serves as a coach for Girls on the Run and tutors students before and after school. She is passionate about equipping students with social emotional tools they need to be successful in life. Okay, so for the Springdale Teacher of the Year, the question: as the Arkansas Teacher of the Year, you serve as a spokesperson and representatives for teachers and students. If selected, please describe your proposed platform and message. This was asked of all of our applicants. Springdale's Teacher of the Year has a platform of parent engagement. She wants to work alongside parents to help build their capacity to support their children in school. Her overall message would be, as the 2023 Arkansas Teacher of the Year, my message to educators, administrators, parents, and the public would be it truly takes a village to raise a child. It would require everyone, students, teachers, administrators, parents, employers, and the entire community to promote a shift from parent involvement to genuine parent engagement. This must be accomplished because today's students are tomorrow's future, and they deserve a village committed to ensuring they succeed. Congratulations to Stephanie Long from Turnbow Elementary. She is Springdale Public Schools Teacher of the Year. She says, hi, Mom. She will represent us well at the state level for Arkansas Teacher of the Year.
And you want all of them out on the steps?
So Teachers of the Years, congratulations again. If you'll just exit through this door and come out to the steps, there will be a photo opportunity for you.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Nobody knew. I was telling her I didn't know either. I was just like, but she's gotta be.
That was kind of a traffic jam out there for you.
A little bit.
Look, I'd like to introduce Dr. Diana Gonzalez-Brooks, professor at the University of Arkansas.
Thank you, Dr. Cleveland, members of the school board. Thank you for having us here. I wanted just to say that in fall 2002, I had the opportunity of working in Springdale for 6 years. And at that time, Judy Hobson and I, when we worked in the ESL Center, had the idea of, we've got a lot of paraprofessionals who are serving as instructional assistants, parent liaisons, and many of them have a desire to become teachers. So we worked really hard to see if that could become true. Well, it wasn't until we moved over to the university, and in 2014, we had Project Maestro, where we had 4 paraprofessionals from Springdale Public Schools, and now they're teaching in Springdale, okay? So we built, in 2017, we built upon that program to scale it up. Project Reach, retooling educators and paraprofessionals to achieve teacher credentialing. Our goal was to shepherd 13 bilingual, bicultural paraprofessionals to become kindergarten through 6th grade teachers. We had 31 in the program. Out of those 31, we have now 18 graduating on Saturday at the University of Arkansas. Springdale has been working very hard to increase teacher diversity, and you have a lot of paraprofessionals that are ready to serve all of you. They work as instructional assistants. Some of them are pre-K instructional assistants, ESL. Some of them work in the special education realm. Some are parent liaisons. We couldn't do this without our REACH team. Christine Smart, who is right here, she is our academic advisor mentor, and we have come up with a way of mentoring culturally and linguistically diverse paraprofessionals, and we call it socioculturally mediated academic advising. It's a different type of advising to ensure the success of the students. Dr. Eva Diaz is our research associate. Dr. Sandy Bowman is our evaluator. And Donna Owen is here somewhere. She was there's Donna? Okay, Donna had served this past year while they were doing their internship. I'm the primary investigator and director. At this time, knowing just a little bit about the students, they're all first-generation college students. Many of them are the first to be born here in the U.S., although we do have some that are foreign-born. They're all paraprofessionals. They either work part-time, most of them work full-time, so their salaries are anywhere from $4,000 to $25,000 a year. They work full-time and they go to school part-time, although we have some that are taking 15 to 18 hours a semester so they can finish. They're so eager to work in the district. And so at this time, it gives me great honor and privilege to showcase our 18 paraprofessionals who, after Saturday, we're going to call teachers because they will be earning their elementary education degrees. I always believe in build it and they will come. They're here. Thank you.
Chirib so net akne, knyom chmo Soklina Ross, Krosa knyom bi Pum Tmei, Kat Batumbong, Srokmai. So my name is Soklina Ross. My family is from Pum Tmei, Kat Batumbong, Cambodia, and I work as a CBI instructional assistant at Bay Area Elementary.
Hello, I'm Rose Diaz, and I'm from Tulancingo, Hidalgo, Mexico, and I'm at Turnbow Elementary.
Hi, I'm Karen Gomez. I'm from Mexico, and I work at Jones Elementary.
Hello, my name is Mariana Tiam, and I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and I work at the Early Childhood Center.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Muller. I'm from the Marshall Islands, and I'm at the ESL office.
Victor Mesa, Guanajuato, Mexico, Helen Tyson Middle School.
Anabel Hernandez. I'm from Guanajuato, Mexico, and I work at Napa Elementary.
Stephanie Espino, I'm from Guanajuato, Mexico, and I work at Napa Elementary.
My name is Fernando Berrigan. I'm from Montescobedo, Zacatecas, Mexico, and I work at George Junior High.
Ana Bolena Barragan from Zacatecas, Mexico, and I work at Emdale.
My name is Karina Lemus from Santa Ana, El Salvador, and I work at Bernice Young Elementary.
My name is Teresa Martinez. I am from Chalatenango, El Salvador, and I work at Rollins Elementary.
Hi, I'm Lila Hernandez. I'm from Venezuela, and I'm working at Knapp Elementary.
Hello, I'm Sandra Lynn Chacon. I am representing Hidalgo, Mexico, and I work at Knapp Elementary.
My name is Yvette Chacon, and I am from Guanajuato, Mexico, and I work at Early Childhood Center.
I do want to say there's a couple of kind of neat things, a lot more than that, but we do have a mother-son. If you'll step forward, mother, son. And not only that, and fiance of the son. And we have 2 daughter-in-laws. Chacons, where are you? There you go. So it's all in the family here in Springdale. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Well done. Ms. Cook, it always takes partnerships, and the university and Dr. Dana have been fantastic partnerships, and see the efforts tonight, and these wonderful people who are wanting to serve kids. In fact, have been. So thank you. Well, have a good night. I'd like to say it gets better from here, but I'm not sure that it does.
We've had a great evening.
We've had a great evening, better. So we have a resolution for the 22-23 school year for the purposes of hiring new staff to the district. We do this every year. It provides the opportunity for the central administration to recommend new staff members for 22-23. Ask that you would approve the resolution.
Make a motion to, let's see here, what is it, superintendent? Okay, we are going to make a motion to give Dr. Cleveland permission to hire additional certified and classified personnel as needed for the upcoming 22-23 school year. Hopefully most of those people right there are in the mix, so that's awesome. So.
I have a motion by Mr. Hutchinson. A second by Mrs. Creek. All those in favor of the motion to give Dr. Cleveland permission to hire additional certified and classified personnel for the upcoming school year?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much. I know the principals are greatly excited about the opportunity to get this underway, replace some of the fine people who were here tonight that we recognize as retirees. Number 7, board is to announce that the Department of Education Professional Learning Community Pilot Cohort 6. We have 2 schools that have been accepted. That comes with a significant amount of professional development and money to the district. The 2 schools are Lakeside Junior High and Sonora Middle School. It's a pretty exhaustive process, and they met the cut, and so we're thankful for the Department of Ed for recognizing their good work. Item 8, to announce that the Department of Education, Office of Education Renewal Zone, State's High Quality Effective Schools Accreditation Program Cohort 3. That's a long title, but George Elementary applied for that and have been awarded. And I see Justin was in here. I don't see him now, but he's excited about that. We have a phone call, I believe, at the end of this week or the first of next, in order to begin that process. So George Elementary is going to be in that cohort, so very fortunate there. And finally, Item number 9, we have a graduation report. It's hard to believe we're already here. It seems like the days are very, very long, and the years go by very quickly.
All right, well, the high school administrators will present the graduation report to you. The good news is this year we have 4 ceremonies, one for each high school rather than 9 like last year. So we're all very excited about that. And they are going to present to you in order of which their ceremonies actually occur. So first, you'll have Archer Learning Center, followed by Springdale High School, followed by HAR-BER High School, and then Tyson School of Innovation. Each of you have a packet at your station, and they should be in order of which they will be presented. All right. Dr. Kobe Davis is up first.
Hello, hello. How are y'all doing? It's exciting times, isn't it? I just want to share just a couple quick things from our packet. There's a whole lot of information in there, but I'm just going to point you to a few pieces of information. On the very first page is just a timeline of the evening, just so you can know. The doors open. That's the time we love for you guys to be there as well. That's when we'll have the, why can't I think of the name of it? The area where you can eat. That place. Thank you, Hospitality Suite will be open. Thank you. And so we'll have that. Yes, we'll have you. We will be serving food at that time. I'm obviously not in charge of that. So, and then at 6:50, we will leave from the Hospitality Suite, and then we will pretty much do what we have done every year at the PAC. It'll be pretty similar, but I'll still kind of go through it in case there's any questions or any ideas. I'm just going to flip to some pages. Our pages are kind of tricky because they're more numbered in sets versus actual page numbers. But if you skip all the way down to page 10, that walks through the entirety of the ceremony for you. So you can see exactly how everything will work. In bold, you can see exactly what will be said. So if there's any questions about that piece, and we hope to be finished, we're planning to be finished within an hour. And then if you flip over to the next segment of pages, which starts on page 13, you can see that there are some diagrams there that just goes through how the evening will look for you on stage, how we'll pass out diplomas. Mrs. Davis will have for you a list of students, so you'll know exactly which students you're going to pass those diplomas to. So that will all be ready for you that evening in the Hospitality Suite. Skipping all of those pages then to the next segment, pages 14, or in segment 14, I guess. This just kind of shows exactly where everything is. In case you had any questions, you can see where the Hospitality Suite is there on the map. And then the following page just shows where parking will be. We have asked our staff this year to wear blue and green. So we would encourage, if you have any blue or green, to join us. We will, obviously, that doesn't mean go out and buy a green suit. Probably wouldn't be that attractive anyway. But obviously, if you have a gray suit and you have a green or blue tie, we would welcome that. So we think it will be a lovely evening. I don't know if you have any questions, but if you do, I'd entertain those. Well, I mean, Mr. Hutchison, as of today, I can speak of today, right now. As of right this minute, we have 32 that are finished. So I know for sure they're going to make it. We have about 100. Well, we have 100 that we know will make it. There's a few more that could make it with them. We just don't know yet. And so we'll know probably, so graduation's at 7 on the 20th. I'll probably know at about 6:30 how many for sure will make it. So.
32 and 100.
Yes, exactly, yes.
What color are your gowns?
Our gowns are blue. They're the same as they were last year. So remember last year we changed to a new gown, so it's a more of a royal blue. But yeah.
Archer blue?
It actually is not our color. Our color was the exact same as the HAR-BER gowns, and so in an effort not to have the exact same color gowns, we chose those lighter blue ones. Yeah.
Nick said he would rock a green suit.
I would love for someone to rock a green suit. If I had one, I would with you, but I'm not making that purchase. Yes. Okay. Well, great. Well, thank y'all so much. Look forward to seeing y'all next Friday night.
This one's going to be early.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent. Glad to be here tonight. We have our packet here. We have sent one out to you with the classic little bracket thing on it. We're not going to be using that one. We've had to make some updates since we met with Dr. Cleveland last week. So this is new. There is an extra parking pass in there. Please disregard that one because we only have 50 spots, and so we don't need everybody having 3. So don't want to see them on Craigslist tonight, okay? All right. Our traditional ceremony will be much like it has been in the past when we've had real graduations. Not very much is going to be different. If you'll notice on page 2. Page 2, we're on our table, on our order of events right there is a little bit different. We don't have a speaker per se. We've increased the amount of student participation in our graduation this year. We'll have multiple student class officers that'll be speaking. They'll be doing short turns up there and some other special things that you'll see on that day. So that's one thing that'll be just a little bit different. If you'll notice on page 3, our walking order is as traditional as we've done in the past. We will not have a processional this year. When the students get there and to try to keep it organized a little bit better and to really take away some of the inconvenience. And one of the things that our students always complain about is having to stand out there on that ramp for an hour in their high heels, and it just doesn't go well, and it's air conditioned. So we'll go over this at our practice, and then at the actual graduation, they will, as soon as they get there, we'll check them in, we'll get them their card, and we'll take them to their seats, and they'll be seated. So we'll be ready to start promptly at 8 o'clock, okay? 0800. Don't forget. At 8 o'clock, we'll be ready to start promptly right then and with our ceremony, and then we will have a recessional at the end of the celebration. I would recommend you being there. Doors open at 6. We're telling our students to be there at 7. There is a softball tournament across the street. The women's softball team is hosting the regional super regional that weekend, but we don't feel as if they're starting till after lunch. So parking should be okay. We'll be in the same spot. I did include one of the updates on the very last, next to last page is a map of parking. We'll be once again in parking lot number 62 on the would be on the east side of the stadium. There'll be some people there to let you in at that point. Okay? You can access that off Razorback Road and get on Richardson there in front of the stadium and just truck right down to it. I don't think you'll be able to access the stadium from farther east over by Fayetteville High School. So I think you will have to come down Razorback Road, but at 7 to 7:30 a.m. I think you'll be fine. Okay? On the next page, you'll find a complete list of what our ceremony will look like, when people will be speaking, etc. One thing that I will provide you between now and then is a list of our graduates. I know everybody has special interests sometimes in people that they're sexually attached to, so I'll make sure I get that to you. We'll be in pretty close to alphabetical order as the ceremony goes through, but I'll get you a list of those so that you'll know if you're looking for someone in particular. The rest is pretty much standard operating procedure. We do have a few more students with special needs this year. We have, I think, 11 right now. They'll be early in the ceremony so that we can meet their needs best and the needs of their families. Okay. Anything else exciting? That's about it. Sir? He could be. I've heard it's a rumor. I think Mr. Jones is friends with Mr. Brooks, so he might show up. I don't know, but probably not. But that's the map they sent me. So.
They don't have tickets, right? They're just letting
No, we're not doing tickets this year. We're back to just a regular thing. Now, one thing the university will be enforcing is kind of their regular policy on bags, but they are going to relax it. They're not going to be searching purses and things like that. So they're going to do the best they can to work with us. There's no, do what now?
Are they going to require clear bags versus?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They're asking to, yes. Is it a requirement? No. We have 2 new people that are in the physical plant this year that are helping us with our ceremonies, and they've both assured me of that as well. Okay. Around 500. Around 100. What was our percentage, Mr. Jones? 97% of our students we had on the list in January are across the line right now, and we're working diligently on the last 14. there'll be a lot of praying, hoping, carrying, and pushing the next several days. Well, that would get us up to 590, I believe, right at. I'm sorry, 490, my bad, excuse me. There we go. That's how many we have, about 500. Sounds better than 490. Okay, any other questions that I might answer? I'm sure Dr. Gladden's going to come up here and impress you with lots more stats and things like that. Okay? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, yes, see you in the morning. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. I am excited to talk to you guys about our graduation at HAR-BER. You can see in your packet, we are expecting to graduate about 615 students this year, and it's in the works. I'm hopeful that it's going to be close to that number. So this graduation is, we'll go through the packet, but you guys could tell it's just like it has been in the past. It's a little bit easier for me because, we're following SHS because you guys will already be there. The parking situation will be the same. We'll have the same parking pass that we'll use for both ceremonies, so you guys won't have to change anything out. So the first part is there a letter, but the second, it's actually page 2. We have the important dates for graduates. And I wanted to remind you guys that you are invited to our senior celebration, which is May 19th at 10:30. If you can come, we'll have a spot for you. We'll be recognizing our seniors with have earned scholarships and other awards and have been involved in other programs, so we're excited about that. And that's going to be in the gym there. So the next page, we have the volunteers. You see we have a list of volunteers. We're going to do have lots of security. We have readers, and that's probably not as interesting to you guys as much as the diagrams and things when we get to that. But before I forget, also, I wanted to talk about, we have students with special needs that will be going across the stage first as we begin presenting diplomas. We'll go from the B side to the A side, and they'll go all the way across. And there are going to be 4. There are 3 listed in your packet, but we've added 1. She will be going across as well. So those will be across the stage first before we actually start any of the other graduates. The important pieces are the diagrams for entering the arena. It's important because we have you guys organized in very specifically, that's going to be related to your diploma distribution. In that packet, you also have a list of the graduates in order that they will be presented, A side and B side, so you guys know where to be when you want to be there. I've assigned sections of the graduates for you guys to give out those diplomas, but obviously you know that you're free to trade, jump in, whatever, if you want to give a diploma to a specific graduate. You can see the floor security. It'll be just like SHS. We'll be reading from both sides, and the graduates will go out and then back to their seats, and we will have a recessional. We will have the hospitality room is in the normal place, and we're working with SHS, so we'll have a kind of a joint meal for you guys. You'll have a breakfast and then a kind of a brunch situation because it'll be a little bit early, but we'll do that. If you want, we can go through the actual program real quick of what's going to happen. As Mr. Eichenberger said, we will not have a guest speaker for ours as well. We will have students involved in the pledge, giving a message, and then introducing Dr. Cleveland. And then mainly the rest of it is Dr. Cleveland and Dr. Greep actually presenting the graduates for you guys to give the diplomas to, and then we'll close out with the alma mater and recessional. I know I went really fast, but it's always easy following Don, and he fills you guys in pretty well on what's up. So, any questions specifically for me that I can answer?
Do we know if there's a school going after? Or, I know there originally was, but I've been told.
Ms. Tischer, I don't think that there is. Did we? I don't think that there is. I don't believe Bentonville is behind us anymore. So you guys will be free to leave your cars there and then transition to Barn Hill. And I think that the SOI team is going to talk a little bit about that. So, any questions for me? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Really? Oh, hope it doesn't rain.
Good evening, Dr. Cleveland and the board and Ms. Smalling. I'm Shay Hopper. I'm one of the assistant principals at Don Tyson School of Innovation. A wonderful night for celebration, and we're honored to be here to share with you our graduation celebration plans. We are going to graduate 252 students this year. It's our largest graduating class to date at Don Tyson School of Innovation, so we're thrilled about that. We hope to graduate 253. We have one young man who we are working very closely with to ensure he succeeds, so good hopes for that. Just to look through your packet, obviously, like everyone else, everything is labeled for you. Our senior breakfast is May 20th, Friday at 10 a.m. in the East Lobby, and you are certainly welcome to join us and celebrate with our seniors. That is also the day of our senior awards and recognition ceremony. That invitation is included in your packet as well. This past Friday evening, May 6th, we had our senior celebration, which we refer to as Senior Sunset, on the campus of Don Tyson, and they had a fabulous time. There was a wonderful color war and very well-controlled fireworks and lots of laughter and photos, and we all had a great time and ate hamburgers and hot dogs and threw water balloons, and they had a great time, so it was lovely. And it was a beautiful sunset to top it off, so it was perfect. Page 6 is the gold and white invitation to our senior scholarship recognition. Many of our community partners will be joining us that morning. Many of our higher education partners will also be joining us. So we invite you, if you're able, we would love and be honored to have you there with us. Page 7, and this is kind of an important piece since our particular event will be held in Barnhill for the first time. Obviously, you will be transitioning as a team from Bud Walton to Barnhill. You can certainly leave your cars in the parking space at Bud Walton. I have spoken with the team at Barnhill frequently, and they assure me that the softball tournament will not impact our parking. So we're going to cross our fingers and go with that. If you would like to move your car, on page 7 on the map, lots 45B and lot 45 are marked in navy blue. I would encourage you to park in 45B if there's space available. At the very back of your packet, there is a parking pass you'll want to display in the windshield. That 45B lot, there is an entry-level, ground-level western door there that faces the west, faces Razorback Road. If you come in that door, you make a left, you make a right, and then you're at the hospitality suite. The hospitality suite is actually the press room at Barnhill, and it is directly behind the stage. So that 45B western door is the easiest for you to enter and find your way directly to the hospitality room. We will have a DTSOI staff member at the door as well to greet you and make sure you're headed in the right direction. So page 7, parking, entrance, any questions on that before we move on, because I know you will be transitioning. There is the school ahead of us, Siloam is ahead of us, but we should be able to be in the space at 1:30. We will already have all our items in Barnhill at 9 o'clock that morning, but we should be able to put our pieces in place at 1:30 and be very ready to go by 3 o'clock. And then page 8 is the actual internal map of Barnhill. And again, that western door, it says school board entrance ground level, and it has an arrow pointing towards the hospitality room. It identifies graduate seating, the student entrance, stage seating, and our family entrance as well, which will be the southernmost entrance. One thing back on page 7 I might point out, Barnhill, for those of us who attended the university, is a little awkward to access. So if you come on Meadow Street and then turn on the driveway, there is signage that points to Barnhill, but the driveway entrance goes behind the Hyper and then up into Barnhill. So it's kind of you've got to watch for it. It's a little bit of an awkward entrance. But you do access that back driveway to get to 45 and 45B off Meadow Street. And then page 9 is just our specific invitation that we sent to special guests, the Tyson family and others who we certainly would love to have attend. And then page 10 is a sample of our event program. And it's got our ceremony agenda, graduate names, as well as honor regalia with all of our Springdale district and board members recognized as well. We will have 3 student speakers. Lauren Milam will have the privilege of introducing Dr. Cleveland. April Reyes and Ezra Santos will address their classmates and our guest at the ceremony, and their biographies are provided for you as well. We then also have divided up the graduates. The next 3 pages list those, but certainly if you have a special request and someone you know in our graduating class, please feel free to let me know and we'll be happy to make that work for you. Page 13 is our timeline for the day. It is the detail of everyone's role in our ceremony and the events and the order in which they will occur. Page 14 gives you a sample of our senior slideshow that will be playing for families as they arrive, and then your parking pass. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good evening, board. It's good to be in front of you again with an actual report related to legal work. Tonight I want to introduce a topic to you that we have talked about a couple of times over the years since this legislation was introduced, and it's come back to the forefront as a potential need for our district. I will not ask you for any action tonight. I'll tell you kind of where we are in the process and then look for any questions or feedback with potential action at a future meeting. So for those of you who are not familiar with the term Act 1240 waivers, Act 1240 was passed several years ago in an effort to give traditional school districts a path to get the same waivers that are offered to open enrollment charter schools. We've talked about it as a district leadership team several times over the year as an avenue to seek waivers to solve problems that we're having within the district. We have not gone down the road before. This would be the first time that we sought those waivers. But we have 2 really specific needs that Dr. Cleveland and the leadership team feel like it's time to ask for those waivers on. I want to let you know that where that Act 1240 waivers is blue and underlined, that is a link to what the actual waiver document would look like that would be submitted to DESE. The process would be that the State Board of Education would have to approve the waivers after you all approved them. So we're several steps away from that, but in case you want to see exactly what that waiver document looks like, it is linked there in the slides. We are currently seeking input from staff members on the 2 waivers that we are considering, and those 2 waivers are class size and teaching load and licensure. And I'm going to talk to you about each one and really what the need is and how they would be used, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions either today or anytime between now and the next meeting. So class size and teaching load, as you know, the state of Arkansas has very specific standards, K through 12, on the number of students that can be in a classroom. Once you get to the secondary level, there's what we call a teaching load, and that's the total number of students that a teacher can have all day. So it's 150 students. There are exceptions in there for different classes, classes that are conducive to large group instruction. You can have more, things like that, but your general number is 150. The need for the waiver, well, first of all, let me say, I want to start with what the waiver is not. We're not looking at this as a blanket new class size numbers. So the anticipated class sizes are going to remain the same. There'll be 20 kindergartners in every class. There'll be 30 secondary students at a maximum each class. But there are some really specific instances where a waiver of up to 2 students over the current class size would be beneficial. At the elementary level, we've talked before about our forced transfer process. Some call it balanced transfer, some call it forced transfer. Balance seems a little bit nicer. But basically at the beginning of the year, and then we recalibrate again at December, we look at all of the elementary schools on the east side, all of the elementary schools on the west side as a unit, and any overages in a particular class grade at that school, students have to be moved out, transferred over to another school because of the class size limitations. We anticipate that process remaining the same. There's still going to be forced transfers because we just don't have a way around it. We can't hire a new teacher when we have one over in a grade. That wouldn't be efficient. But what happens, and here's where the need comes in the middle of a semester, particularly like in the last month of school, when we have an overage and we don't have a place to move the student, we really get in a bind. This year, one of the things I oversee is the balancing of students and trying to help principals find a spot for the students. What we've seen this year that we haven't seen in my 6 years that I've been here is literally not a spot available for a student, third grade on the west side. And the reason we separate east side and west side is just transportation. So all of our transportation is based on feeder patterns that funnel up to Springdale High School and HAR-BER High School. And so rather than considering transferring a student from Shaw to Sonora, we geographically isolate those schools for transportation purposes. So this year in the third grade, on the west side, when we didn't have a single spot for a student, we tried all of the creative solutions that we've tried before, offering parents fuel vouchers if they can transport the student themselves, making sure that all of our records are correct and there really are those kids in the class that they're showing, and there was not a spot for the student. So for the first time, we had to transfer a student west side to east side, which results in a little over an hour on a bus. And that's not okay. That's not okay for the student, and we can do better than that. So I have continued to seek and will continue to seek creative solutions to how to solve this, but what we've come up with is asking for a waiver of class size up to 2, which would allow us to hold overages in particular instances like the one that I described. We also run into at elementary, sometimes a student has moved, say a student moves at spring break and they live in a new attendance zone, but the parent wants them to continue the school year at the school they've been at all year. If we've got kids that are waiting on that spot, we've got to tell them that they have to go on. So if we had some flexibility in holding over, again, I do not anticipate it being widespread. I anticipate it not affecting most teachers. I certainly don't anticipate us actually getting to 2. Maybe 1 over would be a possibility. But when you think about numbers, if we started getting multiple spots over, we would begin looking at opening a class. So again, very specific instances at the elementary level. At the secondary level, on the class size, we would ask again for 2 over, which 2 over per class, and then increase the teaching load up to 162 instead of 150. But let me say this, our current teaching load across the district, most teachers are not maxed out at 150. So at the high school level, I looked just at, we have the data for all the schools, but at the high school level, for example, the average teaching load between Springdale and HAR-BER High School is about 100. So there's still some flexibility there. I don't anticipate the teaching load really being an issue, but the class size, and again, very specific instances. One of those is when a student needs a very specific class that is only offered 1 period, but because they need to take this and this and this, and there's already 30 students in the class, we have to turn that student away and say, no, you need to go find something else to take. Well, if a kid really wants to take the particular class, we want them to have that opportunity. The second scenario that happens is when students move in from other districts, and we're looking at a schedule and what they have already started credit on in another district. If we don't have room in those same classes, then it's a challenge to try to keep them from losing credit, putting them in a new class that they haven't taken. So again, I think it would be very specific instances. I don't know how many times I can say that this is not going to be the new normal before people believe me. I think we'll have to see it in action and just have a little bit of trust there that it's not going to be abused. But that those instances are the reason for the class size waiver. Licensure, you might be a little bit more familiar with because we have used this waiver specifically at DTSOI in the context of CTE courses, and that sometimes people in our community are equipped by training and trade to teach things, diesel mechanics, aviation, things of that nature that may not have a teaching license. DTSOI has utilized it with success, and we would like to extend that opportunity with CTE courses across the district. One other issue that has come to light more specifically this year is long-term substitutes. So if a long-term substitute is in a classroom for more than 30 days, they have to have a teaching license. And this year it's been difficult to find people to fill those positions, or we have really quality candidates like our interns that have already been in the class, know the students, worked alongside the teacher, but because they haven't finished that last piece of licensure, they're not qualified to be a long-term substitute. So again, the two areas we're looking at, licensure and class size and teaching load, very specific instances as outlined here. We'll continue to get feedback over the next few weeks, take questions from you all, and then make a decision. Dr. Cleveland and the leadership team will make a decision on bringing those forward for your approval. If we do take that step and seek your approval, once you approve, we would submit it to the State Board of Education. And they say that it takes about 90 days just to get through the process of on their agenda, down there for a meeting and whatnot. So what questions do you have? And I know this is a lot, so you may need to process for a little bit, and we can circle back at some point.
The waivers will be written very specific, correct?
They are, and when you click on that waiver document that is linked there, you'll see the very specific nature of it. And when we go to the state board, I know just from experience, they may push us a little bit more to even be more specific. They, from what I have seen in them granting waivers, they don't want to grant blanket waivers. They want to grant very specific waivers to address needs. So that's what we tried to do in crafting the language of the waiver, and we may have to even narrow it a little bit more as they process it.
So it is a one-by-one, then case-by-case?
In front of the state board, yes, they consider each district. I think there have been times when co-op groups have gone together to ask for the same waivers just for efficiency. They've done that as a group, but ours would be specific to Springdale School District. Other districts have asked for 1240 waivers, though.
Is there any advantage to going ahead and have an action on this tonight, or should we wait for 30 days?
We should wait. So we specifically put in the agenda that we would not seek action. And the agenda's yours. You could certainly do that. But in fairness to the process of getting feedback, I think we should continue that. We are still getting feedback and trying to respond to those questions as best we can.
Do you think our timeline's okay if we wait 30 days and have 90 days before they decide?
It is. This isn't something that necessarily has to be done before school starts. You know, once we got the waivers, we could use them. So it's not, if it pushed into next school year, that wouldn't be a hurdle that would be too much for us. So we're fine on timeline.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good Good evening, Board. Dr. Cleveland, I have several items for you this evening. The first is a related party. Mr. Matthew Fryer has requested the opportunity to become a substitute in our district as his schedule allows. Mr. Fryer is a law partner in the law firm Crouch, Harwell, Fryer, and Ferner, and we on occasion have used that law firm. We have Mr. Fryer has not been involved in the legal activity with the district when we have used them. It's been other attorneys that have handled it. But as you know, we have had a shortage of substitute teachers, and so if he's willing to jump in there and help us, we would like him to have that opportunity, but we wanted to disclose that relationship. So if the board would approve, we can move forward with that.
I'll make a motion to pass the resolution to approve the related party with Matthew Fryer as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Emerson, a second by Mr. Bell to approve the related party resolution with Mr. Fryer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. The next item that I have for you this evening is the 2022-23 6B budget. This 6B represents the dollars for our special education program that comes to us from the federal government. This is not all of the funds that we spend on special education. We spend a lot of local and state dollars on it as well, but this is the portion that the federal government allows our district to have. We have historically, and just as we have here for you, we have historically spent all of the federal monies on salaries and benefits for different personnel in the special education department. So this will undoubtedly change when the final, by the time the final budget is approved, but it is a requirement that we do this one early. So if it does change, it would just be changing around in the categories. The total dollar figure will not change.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed 6B funding for the 2022-23 school year.
I have a motion by Mr. Hutchinson, a second by Mr. Ramos to approve the special education 6B budget for 2022-23. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Board, the next item that I have for you are the financials for the month of April. As you can see on our revenue report, we are slightly ahead of where we were this time last year, so that's great. And then on our expenditure side, we're right in line with where we were, so everything is looking good. The most exciting thing for me about financials is that I got my property tax notice in the mail. I was probably the only one in the whole county that was excited about getting that, but the reason is because I know they were coming out on time, so people will start paying them, which, as you know, a lot of that money comes back to the school district, so yay. So so I'll be happy to I'm sorry.
You can have mine too, then you
Oh,
can have it.
well, and I've already paid mine because I want to support the schools, right? So, okay, so do y'all have any questions on the April financials?
I make a motion to approve the April 2022 financial statements as presented.
Second. I have a motion by Mrs. Krieg, a second by Mr. Emerson to approve the April 2022 financial statements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Board, the next item that I have for you, and I apologize, I don't have the latest rendering of this, but our district has the opportunity to purchase a little over 12 acres that is adjacent to the Central Junior High campus. As y'all know, we are going to be totally revamping that campus, and with all the code upgrades and things, it's taking away quite a bit of our green space. So this is an opportunity for us to utilize that property that's right next door to us for for more green space for our students. So we had some renderings of it. I think Dr. Cleveland said he had sent those to you of what it could potentially look like. So we're excited about that opportunity. So Dr. Cleveland, do you have anything to add?
Sure, we have Dr. Johnson here, his protege, and they have some, a rendering potentially of what we could use the space for. Right now, Central sits on roughly 13 acres. This is roughly 13 acres, so it almost doubles the space of the footprint, which would make it similar to Southwest, Lakeside, and George. And if you've ever dropped a student off or picked a student up from Central Junior High, or if you've been around Central Junior High, Huntsville and Gutensong are very compact. So we're building the new school further away from those two roads. This 12 acres would allow us to connect to the new Emma Street, which is already bid. It'll go to the south, just straight on over to I-49. I think they're actually winding up at, what, 40th at this time? I think that's what the mayor said. And so we would have another exit out that would go south, which would really relieve a lot of anxiety of the people that are picking up their kids. It would also provide us a good opportunity at having some outdoor classrooms over on that space. In fact, we've asked the Department of Education for their review of potentially using some HAR-BER monies, and they've approved that. And so we believe we can spend up to 1.5 of that this particular property does not cost that much, but we did get approval to do that should you decide to do so.
Measure stands for what?
ESSER? Well, now, I can't. ARP stands for American Recovery Plan. I know that.
So it's part of the American Recovery.
Yes, it is. ARP ESSER. Yes.
$1. So basically, we're saving our local bonded money, local tax money, and using allocated federal funds.
But if we don't spend, we're gonna lose.
I didn't put you on the spot.
No, that's all right. I just call it ESSER. I've called it that for so long, I'm going, now, what is that? Right. Yes. Well, as you know, we received a total of $62 million, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? It has a deadline of when to spend it. We're not going to have any trouble doing that, meeting that deadline. It is for specific purposes, but providing learning experiences for our students in an outdoor setting would certainly qualify.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 12.4 acres adjacent to Central Junior High campus.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Emerson, a second by Mr. Owenby to approve the purchase of the 12.4 acres adjacent to Central Junior High. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. White?
Hello, Board. Dr. Cleveland. I'm going to change my update today from what I normally do, so we'll have some weather updates. So at the last board meeting, I updated on the tornado damage that we received on March 30th. So on April 16th, about 4 a.m., we got a hailstorm that came through Springdale, and it affected several schools. That was on a Saturday morning. We found out it had knocked out skylights, broken windows, and damaged roofs. So we inspected all the roofs in Springdale, and there was 15 roofs that had quarter size or larger damage, pretty extensive. And then we had 10 other buildings that had quarter size or smaller damage. So we're working with the insurance company to get those looked at.
Tired of hearing from us.
They are. So that's set up. Hopefully next week they'll get an adjuster up here and we'll get a roofing company to cut out samples and let them inspect. But in the meantime, we have made temporary patches We've took out some skylights, repaired some skylights to get the roofs not to leak. So then that happened on the 16th. And on May 5th, we got a lot of rain and had a lot of flooding issues. So I updated Dr. Cleveland. I think he shared with you the update. So we got the first call about 3:30 that morning. About 4 o'clock, 71 was closed. Several roads were closed. Talked with Dr. Cleveland about 5:15. Had a plan with Kevin Conkin on what routes were safe to run and which ones were going to have to be modified. So that day we ran 64 regular routes, and 20 of those routes we had to modify due to flooding or road damage, or some had debris. So it was a little bit of everything. We ran 19 sped routes, and there was 2 sped students we couldn't get to because of flooding issues. So that day was a little hectic. We had a lot of flooding in several buildings, from flooded gyms to debris on the roads, and we had most of our property cleared out before school started. We did have some floods that took longer to get cleaned up. And so between that and the testing schedules that we've had to maintain, it's got our work in progress work orders have increased about 75%. I expect that'll take us about 2 months to get that back down to our normal amount of work orders that we do. And like I said, we're waiting on the insurance company to inspect the roofs. And then we continue to work on George Elementary, getting bids for that to get to the insurance to move forward with making permanent repairs on that building. Do you guys have any questions about that? Okay.
You can watch the grass grow right now.
We can. So, yeah, so between the testing and the flooding, yeah, we're behind on mowing. So we're actually mowing right now to get ready. And like I said, I think it'll take a couple weeks to get the mowing back under control. And, okay.
Still planning on ramping up with additional summer help, right? Temporary help?
Yeah, so we've got several seniors. We had one actually start today full-time. We've got several as soon as they get done with their school work, then they'll be over working for us this summer. So that always helps us catch up on mowing and just projects for the summer. And then another update on the construction. So we did receive bids on Central Junior High gym remodel and Southwest Field House. And they came in over budget. So what we've decided to do is to rebid these projects, which were bid package 1 at both Central and Southwest. We're going to roll those into bid package 3, which is the entire building. So that'll increase the square footage, which we should get a better price. So we don't have how it's going to affect our schedule yet. Could be 2 or 3 weeks of a delay before we get those projects started. But we are going ahead and moving forward with the stormwater plan, getting it ready, and then we'll have contractors under contract and subs, and as soon as the bids get back and we vet the subcontractors, then we can move forward. And we are going ahead and moving forward tomorrow at Southwest with the portion that the district is going to start. We will start that work tomorrow, and then I plan on having it done in 2 weeks.
There is a timeline that we're under. If you recall, we had phase 1 of Central, phase 1 of Southwest, were approved and funded about 3 years ago, and so that process has started. We waited for phase 2, approved and funded, to do it as one project instead of having a partial building just built. This opportunity for us, there's not a waiver process at this time unless the legislature takes action. And if they take action in January to work on inflationary costs and things like that to help the district, we will not meet our obligation to have those facilities constructed. So we're needing to move forward. We're also working with some state legislature. You all visited with them last week, and I did too, in Little Rock, about putting something into place to help mitigate the overall inflationary costs for what we're experiencing in construction. Y'all are experiencing it in your work, and we're certainly experiencing this. Spot on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We knew exactly what we thought it would cost. We had money to do that. And now 15 to 16% overall is a significant increase when we're already on a tight budget. So we're having to make sure not to really cut, but to review everything in detail. And of course, Michael will talk about that further. But we need to make sure we save as much money as we can.
Yep. It looks like Paul has the rendering for that property that's west of Central.
Michael, would you like to come talk about it? Michael Johnson of Architecture Plus. He's the architect of Central Junior.
Yes, Board, Dr. Cleveland, good to see you again this evening. What you are seeing is a possibility of the land that you just approved to purchase. I'm sure there's going to be many more discussions about what can this land become, but we tried to take advantage of the items that were there and enhance them, both as teaching environment and also community environment. I'm going to let Krista, who's one of our architects, who's put her ideas and thoughts into this with direction from Dr. Cleveland, kind of step you through a few of the things that you're seeing up there on the screen.
So in the new property, we are showing an additional play and practice field, in addition to the existing football field that they have already on the property. Also tennis and basketball courts, and additional parking for the new facility, or that could be used for Central, for instance, if there was a basketball game at the property and they needed additional parking. It's also showing a driveway connection to the future Emma Avenue to the south, which could help relieve traffic at student drop-off and pickup times. There's also a couple of pavilions that can be used for outdoor teaching areas, and a pond that can be used for science classroom education, and a few gardens that can be used by both the school and the community. And then we're still making use and leaving a lot of the existing trees that are already on the property, along with the existing creek on the south side there. We are also showing the proposed bike path that the city of Springdale already intends to put along the side of Emma Avenue. So that is there as well.
That blue creek that you see cutting diagonally across the bottom through all those trees down there, for those of you who probably know the property, that is not a creek, that is a huge drainage channel. Yes. So it has to remain there. I wish it was a creek, but it's a big drainage channel. Yes.
Is that a track around the play field?
It's a walking area. There's a possibility that play field is not the size of a football or soccer, but there's a possibility maybe you bring the field events over there if needed, you know. But as far as the track, that area is not big enough without a lot more additional cost to get rid of the pond or take away trees. We're trying to limit those costs and just use the natural attributes that are there. Yeah.
So it's just those walking tracks like
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Most of the joint use.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. And the garden area you're seeing there could be both for students and for community to use as well.
Yeah, their ag grant program over there, she uses a lot of outdoor planting.
Well, there's a lot of students that have snuck onto that property and fished out that pond, so I think it being open will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys have any other questions for me? All right.
Springdale, as far as the arena goes?
We should be getting bids back next week. It went out to bid last week, so yeah, so we should get it next week, and we'll see what those numbers are. It bid all as one package,
We're supposed to start there as soon as school
yeah,
starts.
June 2nd, or second week of June. I've got 1 week, the first week of June, as soon as teachers get out. We'll have 1 week to get everything out of the way, and And then the second week of June, demolition will start. And the first week of June, they will be on site, but they'll be putting up the stormwater, and then they'll be taking some of the selective demolition out of the Ox Gym, bleachers, stuff we're trying to save. We've got to get it out first so we don't damage it, and then get it stored in a air-conditioned space, you know. So it's going to take a little longer on the demo because we are saving parts of it to reuse. So it should move pretty quick.
I was in the Ox Gym the other day, and the lobby's starting to
Yeah.
fall in on itself, and I don't figure we're gonna do any work orders on that. So.
No, it has some pretty major foundation issues on the southwest corner. So
Get the bulldog off the front.
we've got a lot of things we're saving.
There's a long list.
Yeah, yeah. So Dusty's got some good plans there for moving forward with that. The driveway at Don Tyson School of Innovation got rain delayed last week. We were waiting on one final approval. I talked to Mario at Baldwin Shell. We expect to get that from the city tomorrow, and then they have the contractors ready to start in on that. So we expect that'll take off hopefully tomorrow, and then we'll get that project going and try to get it completed before school starts.
Will Turnbow hook into that anyway?
Will they do what?
Will Turnbow hook into that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's, when that driveway gets around by Turnbow, we had put an exit into where their circle drive is back there, for the car riders. We were gonna put a drive-through there with a gate where we could block it off, you know, if we wanted to keep that secured, and then open it up during events, or at certain times we could open or close the gates. So. Okay, thanks.
Good evening, school board, Dr. Cleveland and Ms. Smalling. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. It's always great to be in front of you. I want to start off with a huge congratulations. We have so much that we celebrated tonight and so much to celebrate over the next couple of weeks, from our PTA reflection winners to the Seal of Biliteracy, our graduating seniors, our retiring teachers, and Teachers of the Year. SEA is so proud to be a supporter of all of those people. The student who did the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, Anthony Neva, was actually in my class my very first year at Springdale School District, and it just made me so proud to see him up here speaking. I had him as a freshman in high school, and so you can imagine how much he's not only grown, but grown as a person and changed and become such an amazing member of the community who's ready to graduate and go out and just achieve his greatest dreams. We're so excited to celebrate all of those people that are a part of our school district. We also want to next say that SEA has had some intensive meetings about the waivers after they were proposed at PPC. We have been looking at both the teacher licensure waiver and the class size waiver, and we want to say that we do not stand in support of these waivers. We do not believe that they are what's best for students, and as we have for the past several years, AEA will continue to support what is best for all students, and especially for individualizing instruction. As a teacher at SOI, I know the importance of a personalized education, and the more students we put in a classroom, the harder that gets. And we've been saying the higher the class numbers, the lower the test scores, and we're just afraid that class sizes will go up and that we won't have teachers who are highly effective and highly qualified if those waivers are passed. We hope to see more details on that, and we do hope to see surveys and things that are put out for the stakeholders, from the community to the school district staff to our students' parents. We want to help make sure that everyone is informed and that everyone has a say on their own support or not support of those waivers going through before the school board meeting, where you do decide to pass or not pass them. Off to some better news. SEA and the National Education Association are really excited to announce and invite everyone to a student loan forgiveness seminar. This is not only open to our members, it's open to anyone who has student loans who needs assistance with forgiveness. We know that we sometimes have retired teachers who have finished their career and are still paying off those college loans. It's an issue throughout the country, and we think that Springdale's population shares that issue, and we would like to invite anyone who's interested to join our Zoom meeting on May 19th. Please email the Springdale Education Association at gmail.com if you're interested in coming to that meeting and learning more about student loan forgiveness. That's something that, as a young person, I'm very passionate about. I hope to serve the public during my career, but I also hope that the student loans I have don't become a barrier for me to continue the work. I need to be able to financially support myself, and having those loans forgiven would definitely take a huge burden off of my shoulders, and I'm sure that there are other teachers in our district who are in a similar boat. We are also very excited to share with y'all that our AEA president, Carol Fleming, made a visit to George Elementary School. She was able to read a book to the class of students and donate a book to the library as part of the state's response to the disaster of the tornado that happened recently. And we continue to look for ways that we can support our students and our teachers who went through that tragedy. We're almost there. We just have 3 weeks left of school, and we're really ready for summer. I've been telling my students that we're going to finish strong. We're going to make sure that we keep learning until the last day and get everything done, but I'm looking forward to a chance to really rest. I want to remind you all that spending time resting doesn't mean that you don't care about your goals. Resting doesn't mean you don't care about your work. In fact, spending time unplugged and present with your people and reflecting on what matters and why you want to chase those goals is really what keeps the fire lit. So during this summer break, I hope that everyone involved in Springdale School District takes the chance to rest, unplug, and relight that fire that burns our passion for Springdale students. Because when we say all means all, we mean all students, and that's why we are here. Thank you for your time tonight.
Okay, board, we have 2 patron comments this evening. John, would you like to go first?
What a busy month. What a busy month. Waivers. Class size. Makes sense. It gets larger, kids get lost. Everybody's aware of this huge election, Arkansas voter guide. Anybody seen this? Yeah. What was surprising to me was that the key points that most of them commented on, where they supported it or opposed it, or if they had a special comment to put on it. Some of the topics was education, allowing public funds allocated for education of a child to be used to pay for an education at any school the parent chooses. Critical race theory, withholding state funds from any public schools that promotes critical race theory. And it goes on. That was in the federal races, they were asked about COVID foreign policy, guns, immigrations, elections, and the such. Why do you think that they were asked those questions? Why do you think those questions were proposed? I believe, my theory is that it was the citizens, it was the parents, the grandparents, those that are attending public schools that have a concern for those things. So definitely focus on that and be aware of any alerts to any teachers that are promoting the critical race theory or anything that's out of the ordinary, something that you should oppose and that their parents oppose. Thank you for your time. Oh, Trump won.
Sorry, I've never been to a school board meeting before.
Could you say your name? I can't.
Yeah, sure. It's Phil Shellhammer. Yep. So I have 3 kids in the school board in the school district here. And my wife and I actually don't work in Springdale. And we've gone through a year of struggling with the buses being canceled. And so it came to a head the last 2 days. The communication tools that I have to learn which buses got canceled were wrong. Human error made it happen, but both times I assumed my boys were getting picked up in the morning and they didn't get picked up. And we had to come back, we had to figure out how to get them, right? I'm not blaming D2 SOI, they're awesome, they've been great to help me out. I'm also not saying go hire more bus drivers, I know you need to get that. My request to you is to go gather some information on the impact it's having on families, all right? I got a list. I think you should go ask the transportation department to figure out how many or which buses get canceled the most. It's always the same numbers, so it's always the same parents that take the burden. My opinion, it's the same list I get every day. I'd ask them to understand how they're picking which buses are getting canceled. Right? Is it equitable across families or across areas? I don't think it is. I'd ask you to set some rules on why or how we're going to pick which buses get canceled. Next year, this is all done this year, but next year, at least set some rules ahead of time so maybe it's equitable across all the parents. You could really use a communication process to parents that's direct from the transportation department. If it goes through other humans from other schools that are doing things, human error happens. That's exactly what happened to me multiple times throughout the year. Just one direct person from transportation saying these are the buses that aren't coming would be really, really helpful. I would pull, determine the priority on what's most important, because most of the buses that are getting canceled are in the evenings, and I'm assuming that's because sports took the bus. If sports is the more important thing, great, but just determine the priority and set it. Pull a focus group of parents together that have been impacted the most and ask us how to make our lives a little bit better next year, because this has been painful. And then I heard something tonight about gas vouchers. I'd recommend actually looking at some way to compensate parents if they're having to go through these cancellations all the time with some kind of voucher to get them to schools. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Cleveland? And this meeting is adjourned.